I guess it was the roast that sort of started the thing off. That I said, well, Jesus Christ, I've been up here hiding in the brush all this time, you know. I'm not the world's greatest public speaker to start off with, and I'm a Weisenheimer if there's 2 or 3 people around, but if it gets to be a whole bunch, then you know you really fucking Joe Dokes. And so the roast was sort of a resurrection in a way.
So you got this time all coordinated that we're going to go out that back door and around the corner and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when we hear Jeff go out there, we know he's got it rattled for 5 minutes.
He's out there. No, that's it.
That's the video.
All right, I just gotta relax.
I'd like to see that video. Shit, they're laughing. It must be
We'll
good.
let you have a copy. We'll let you.
Yeah, well,
It's good enough.
but I don't watch most of those videos.
No, I don't.
You know, it's fucking,
Well,
after 44 years, it's the tattoo business today, as far as I'm concerned, is a fucking bloody
Well, you
bore.
look like
So if you had to do it over again, you would go to driving truck or...
Oh, well, you know, there's no chance of ever doing it over again. I see things that would be a hell of a lot more interesting to do than tattoo, but I did it for 40 years. You know, so how can you? I mean, that's not a good indicator.
Hi, Lyle. I'm so glad to be here after meeting you 14 years ago. Looking forward to the roast. And don't forget to teach class to get up for class tomorrow morning.
This is the 3rd day I've had it here. At Bimble.
Is that right?
78, 79 had the first annual,
Yeah,
second annual
yeah,
tattoo ball.
yeah.
And so, 3rd one.
They spoke fondly of you.
Oh yeah, no. That was friends with the old man.
Thank you, Mike.
Jeff Baker's in the bloody dressing
Still
room.
making up, but he's ready to go.
He's going to drag, and it takes a little time to get him to look decent.
Yeah,
He's fucking funny.
yeah.
Jeff Baker is funny. This right in here was the McNabb Ranch complex. This whole thing was the McNabb Ranch. It was 20,000 acres. And John L. McNabb, who was the son of the original owner of the property, was like the Melvin Belli of around the turn of the century in San Francisco. In fact, he gave the nominating speech in 1927 or something like that in Fresno for Herbert Hoover, for nominating him for president.
You mean the convention?
At the Republican convention. Nope. Yeah, so he was sort of a big political and big-time lawyer. And he read the law there in Ukiah, and supposedly that big old barn house, the big old barn that's over there, he would, when he was reading the law, he would set the bales of hay up. He'd set 12 of them up for the jury, and then he'd have, and so he got up there and talked to these bales of hay when he was perfecting his courtroom.
Little practice there.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to practice for the roast here? Are you going to use the hay bales or sheep?
Yeah. I'm going to have some hay bales to talk to during the roast. I don't know. I just keep running it through my mind, about these people. Anything that really comes up good, I either jot it down and then take it home and stick it in the computer. So, because I think it's going to be kosher that night to have some notes, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I think so.
And then plus, I'm going to have some, whoever's talking, I'm going to have like
their notes there, and I can do some little scribbling for a little bit of, retort.
Everything I'm going to tell you tonight is true. I don't need, as Jeff also said last night, there's no need to lie about all this because we've all, enjoyed a pretty amazing existence in this business.
Lyle Tuttle is the cheapest fucking man I've ever met.
But he doesn't drop acid anymore.
Stars and butterflies. That's it. It's all the guy's ever fucking tattooed. Stars and butterflies.
I don't know why Lyle Tuttle. I don't know why Lyle Tuttle asked me to do this roast. I guess he felt more comfortable with people who don't know fucking anything about him doing the roast.
You can say what you fucking the guy. He's not so bad, really. But anyway, because it's Tuttle, we're gonna keep it subtle.
He's doing real well. He said, "You look really great for your age. How things going?" He said, "I feel terrific." He said, "Every night I get up about 3 o'clock in the morning, go to take a piss, and God turns the light on." He says, "What?" He says, "Every night I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go take a piss, and God turns the light on for me." So he goes back and tells the nurse, he said, he's doing physically good, but he has a problem with that girl as well. He calls her up and he says, "Hey, man, listen, I'm talking to your husband here, and he works out real well physically, but he tells me every night he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and God turns, he take a piss and God turns the light on." She said, "Son of a bitch, he's pissing in the refrigerator again." I got no excuse. This is short. I'm not going to tell any. The chauffeur's his first day on the job. He shows up at
I got to interrupt. Jeff Baker told me a joke about Lyle Tuttle. He got circumcised very late in life, and when he went into the hospital, they called 3 physicians, they called 12 nurses, and they said, "Why?" And they said, "This is a big prick." And I said, "I can't use that on Tuttle, I'll use it on Hardy." I said, he says, "How are you going to use that on Hardy?" "I'll just stand up and say Ed Hardy is a big prick." He said, "You forgot the first line and the punchline." I said, "It don't matter."
Comes out the same.
So this is getting off this Bus McGall Road, and this is going up on this private road, which is starts and stops in the ranch here, called Shigum Road. And Shigum is a Lake County Indian name for "we're here." And this is my little mountain right here. This is the one that's 1773 high. And that was where I came tonight to look at it that first time, and come all the way up here, and there's a lock gate right up here, and then walked up on top of this thing and looked west, and everything you could see was on the ranch. It's damn thing's like owning your own state park. I mean, it's just whew. Aren't you? No. Am I nervous?
Yeah, but he has.
Huh? Well, you've had all them tranquilizers today. You had Jim Beam.
No, I got the blues, man. I'm gonna play the blues for you, man. They said play one song.
Right. You're just down to one song now.
No, they said play one song.
I thought you were going to do one song, and it was going to go break, and then we'd go to...
Okay, but I have a special song for you. So that's the one to do, right? I mean, do it?
We'll do that first.
Do the special song.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, the rest of it's going to be like quit.
You want everybody's undivided attention. You want their...
Right, then there'll be a captive audience.
Absolutely.
They haven't been dismissed yet.
Yeah, they'll be dismissed shortly.
They'll be dismissed after that.
After that.
Right. I guess it's the choice of the individual what you want to do. And, but a lot of that running around I was doing when I was collecting for the museum. I got to travel in. But then I was also doing something constructive because, well, now, I mean, I've even lost interest in collecting because the prices on stuff is so high. I mean, it's like I used to have to beg people to give me stuff. They thought it was rubbish. Now they sell it, and I mean, they sell it for big money. And that spending big money just knocks the romance out of it for me. But if you buy anything that's not hot, used, or wholesale, you're nuts. The hot I just put in there. I don't buy hot stuff, but used or wholesale is the only way to buy anything, because goddamn it, it's just too many things in the world to buy to be wasting your money buying retail.
Anybody from Kansas City here tonight? Kansas City? No? Anyway, this song's called Kansas City, folks. It goes like this.
And Crazy Eddie sits next to Jack. Next to Lyle, Terry, he'll be sitting next to Lyle.
Kansas City.
And then Shotzi is next to Shotzi.
We're on to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. They got a crazy way of loving. Now I'm going to give me a
It's in alphabetical order. Okay. It's from there on out, it's in alphabetical order. So, Eddie and
I go to what we go to Kansas just to say, yeah. Kansas City, here I come.
After Terry is done, Lisa will do the news for us. And then the house announcer will come back and do the final announcements. And then we'll do your full set. Does anybody want to come up and do a mic level at the mic?
Oh, I forgot to show you some of that rock that down there. Down by that one pond that we walked past, there's a big piece of chert down there. And chert, it's in this country, it's a red rock, and you can see where it was extruded out through a fumarole, they call them. It's a vent on a volcano, and it is pushed out, and you can see where it's been pushed through a hole, through an orifice of some kind, because it's all the same shape. And there's a piece down there that weighs probably, a couple 1,000 pounds, a big red piece. And then through the years, it's with the weight of the earth and everything, they crack, and then it gets water in it, and then it solidifies and makes crystal. I mean, that geology stuff is great. Of course, anybody ever knew that took geology said the classes were a bore. But anyhow, I'm going to make this sort of display area in here, and then start displaying these rocks these pretty rocks that I find, and then I'm going to take and invite the rock club or mineralogy club or whatever they call it up here for a barbecue sometime, because I don't want to join the damn club. I just like to have the whole club up here someday and tell me all about my rocks. But you'd have to tape record it, and I'm sure that there would be like 27 different opinions, wouldn't there? Everybody's got an opinion and an asshole. And generally, they both stink. So I'm gonna go check that coffee. It must be boiling.
I put up with the. I done seen better days, and I'm putting up with the. Having much better time. But these girls so hard to please. Now she talked to me and she said, man, when I get nervous I breathe like this. Is that good enough? I done bought the grocery. Man, I done paid the rent. I done bought the groceries. Man, I done paid the rent. Tried to make me wash your clothes. Boys, I done got good common sense. Sugar for sugar, let you get salt for salt. Ha! Sugar for sugar, let you get salt for salt.
Only my good friends get to see me with no makeup on and bad hair.
It's your goddamn. Sorry?
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to tune it up. I was tuned up when I stole this damn thing.
You hear what he said? He said it was tuned up when he stole it. It was tuned up when he stole it. Yeah. Very soon we're getting on with the roasting. Okay? About maybe 1 or 2 more numbers, then the lads are going to come up and slag each other down. Something terrible. Here we go. In fact, Payless Jeff is one of the roasters, or he's the head roaster, or the master of roasties. And he's got a favourite blues number called Don't Put No Headstone on My Grave. We'll do that one for Payless Jeff now. Don't put no headstone on my grave. All my life I've been a slave. I don't want the world to know. Here lies the man that loved you so. Don't send no flowers when I'm gone. Just put me down and then move on. Tell the world that I'm finally free from every sin and misery you caused me. And tell my mother not to cry. You know I'll see you bye-bye. Tell her that I'm finally free.
I did this tattoo right on this friend of mine's wrist there. You know how that can really bad? And then gnarly like that. And you see how that line looks distorted and it's not showed in. It was like that. There was cracks in it. And it was all like green, gold, all this sort of shit. And you know what? All that's perfect. I didn't even one touch. I was really surprised.
Should I act like you're not doing this?
Whatever. You want to show me your tattoo? I'll be glad to.
What is it?
Oh, let me see. Who did that?
Julie Moon?
Hey. Yeah, a bit of an old blues song there, folks, eh? Thank you very much. Okay, then. I got one last number to put in now for you, folks, before the roasting starts properly. So we'll just do a little bit of a bluesy number, okay? Okay. In the evening, baby, when the sun's going down, in the evening,
Let you shine this. Okay.
We're gonna miss you, fella.
And don't wear my shoes or anything, I don't say. But you did wear this.
Don't leave any money lying around.
Okay, we're off.
Enjoy it, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Michael, quick question. Okay, what am I referring to when I say at long last that's exactly what Tattooing is about to do for Lyle Tuttle? What am I referring to?
Do the videotape. Shown by nothing.
What does it say? Hold it. Wait,
You
what?
take care of tattooing.
Baby, I was just thinking.
Right.
No, we don't take care of it.
No, unless I get you.
Right. Huh? I didn't know. I didn't know. Right. And that's exactly what tattooing is going to do for you.
It's done it for 44 years.
Wow.
You know, so that's where the saying comes from, because it's like,
Right.
that's my credo.
Yeah.
There's a mirror on the back of that door.
That's why I'm singing. In the evening, baby, when the sun goes down. In the evening, baby, when the sun goes down. roasting starts now, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My kind of music. All right, Brian Lewis Ingram, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it. Come on. Brian, you're going to have to do something about livening up your wardrobe. You know? Thanks a lot. Right now, we'd like to present something you may or may not have been expecting before the roast. It's going to be taking place on center stage. It's a video about the life and times of tonight's honored guest. It's an entree of the roast, so to speak. It's a small slice of the life and times of the man himself, Lyle Tuttle.
Oh, I mean, I'm the most fortunate man in the world. You know, I'm a high school dropout from Ukiah, California, you know, and I've come down and got my first tattoo when I was 14 and wound up, I guess, picking out my life's career that day.
Fame and fortune does not necessarily walk hand in hand. You know, if I had a whole bunch of money, I'd be driving probably a new pickup. But I rationalize this whole piece of shit as why buy a new one and take it up the hills and tear it up. But I think a new one would be nice to tear up.
Well, how'd you get from Iowa out to Ukiah? Weren't you born in Iowa?
Yeah, born in Iowa. What happened was that
I think in 1930, I was born in 31, but in 1930 my maternal grandfather died and left 360 acres of farmland. And
so my dad quit construction work. He was traveling with National Construction Company and went back and run that farm. And the first 2 years that he ran it, he got ate out by grasshoppers. And he didn't like farming anyhow. And so that first year they came to California, and then he went back, put another crop of corn in, got it ate up, and said to hell with it. And so they had a big sale, sold off all the farm equipment, and land wasn't worth nothing. I think they wound up giving the land away or just abandoning it, this 360 acres.
This is the Tattoo Art Museum right in the center of San Francisco. Lyle Tuttle goes back to the 60s. In fact, when did you move in here?
July 1st, 1960. So I got to see the whole transition of the beatniks and hippies and, you know, just everybody. That's the transition that San Francisco's made.
Well, what made you decide to open a museum?
I'm actually a materialistic collector. I mean, if I get two of anything, I'm dangerous. So I have other collections other than tattoo collections, but I got tattooed here in San Francisco. I was raised in Ukiah at 14 and came down to see the big city on my own and got a small tattoo, and I guess that day I picked out my life's work.
Lyle opened the museum in 1974, and today the heart of the collection is about 1,500 hand-drawn designs from tattoo artists all over the world. There are also antique tattooing machines on view, and you can even watch tattooing in action. This is one of only 3 tattoo museums in the world. Oxford, England has one, so does Amsterdam, but San Francisco was first. You get a lot of visitors in here, but yet a lot of people don't know this place is around. Who comes here?
Well, people from around the world come in here because it's most of the foreign tour books. But it hasn't really been covered locally. I mean, there's a lot of people, residentes here, that don't even know that the Tattoo Art Museum exists.
The museum is located at 7th near Market Streets in San Francisco. Not a great neighborhood. But because of redevelopment, Lyle is searching for a new location, somewhere more conducive to a backroads trip into the past. It's open from noon to 6, 7 days a week, and it's free. And it's free. And it's free.
I'm now sitting here with no hospitalization insurance, no retirement plan.
That's the grand old man of tattooing in Frisco talking. He is arguably the world's most widely known tattooer. A genuine media personality in the late 60s and into the 70s. Besides being a household name to millions, he's credited by his peers with selling tattoos to the world big time. Who else? Lyle Tuttle.
You don't smoke cigarettes and you don't drink coffee, because both those cost you money. You know, I mean, it's like a hooker. You know, you just have to figure out how to turn them tricks.
That adage has worked well, and tattooing has been very, very good to Tuttle.
It's a pleasant profession.
It is when it's as good to you as it has been to Lyle. On Tuttle's part, it's success well earned, as it has been for others of his associates who left and set up shop of their own.
I'd probably like to pass along a thank you for the best boot camp a young tattoo guy could ever have. 7 years at 7th Street qualified me to be one of the hottest tattoo shop owners in San Francisco at this point. And I owe it all to the old man.
Howdy, Lyle. Congratulations on a long and wondrous career. I got my first 3 tattoos in your shop, and I'll never forget it. Thank you very much. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for what you did.
Sing a little song, ready?
Yeah, I do. I want. Happy roast, Lyle, from all the folks here at Primal Urge Studios. Wishing you all the best, and have a good time.
Season's greetings.
Happy Hanukkah.
I've always wanted a piece of, you know, a good-sized piece of ground, and I got 160 acres. That's a quarter of a mile by a quarter of a mile. So I always read the want ads in the papers for the hell of it. And it's at 160 acres south of Ukiah, 13 miles out of town. This is the lower point of what they call the Emerald Triangle. Humboldt, Del Norte, and Mendocino County. And so they raise Alpacalolo. So this is my ranch compound. I think it's beautiful. I said if I ever moved a trailer house on a piece of property, I wish that lightning would strike me. And somebody gave me that goddamn house trailer. And so, you know, principles on a sliding scale anyhow. So I moved it up here.
There aren't very many, but Lyle Tuttle is one of those people who lives tattoos. He puts them on. He collects tattoo art and has a fine eye for the best.
This is turn-of-the-century art. It was painted on canvas.
And the worst.
He's got the bowsprit on the wrong end of the boat. If you see a heart with mother, you just automatically think tattoo, but that's actually is not a popular design that people get. I mean, it happened to be my first tattoo design, a heart with mother. I was 14 years old. I probably got a heart with mother until I wouldn't get my butt beat when I got home.
When you talk to Lyle Tuttle, you can see his tattoo suit peeking out from his collar and out from under his cuffs. But most of the time, his tattoo suit is strictly under wraps. However, Tuttle in the Skin is a scrapbook of his life and career in tattooing.
I picked them up as souvenirs, as travel marks, and they mean a lot to me.
His body is solid tattoo souvenirs from 60 famous tattoo artists around the world.
This is exterior decorations for internal feelings, your tattoos. So you communicate on the outside what you feel on the inside. So I went ahead and designed this family crest and went to a Catholic school and had one of the fathers write it out and it's Galena Hodie Plume Crest, which literally translates into chicken today, feathers tomorrow. This is my, I guess, sort of boils down to be my basic philosophy. And when somebody reads that in Chinese, it says perspiration no, but they don't really get the essence of no sweat. My tattoos are probably put on by 75 different artists, and they're like souvenirs. I don't have the prettiest bodysuit in the world or anything else, but it's mine, all mine, and it's all filled in. I don't have to worry about getting any more.
You're done.
I'm done, yeah. I know when you're done, you're finished, but I am. You know, I just don't have any room anymore. I didn't tattoo my hands or my face or my feet. And I can put
clothes on and go out in public and damn near look civilized.
First time I met Lyle, first thing he said to me, tattooing isn't all just grabbing ass. Some people have to do it for a living. And I guess he was right. Now I'm doing it for a living. But I guess without Lyle, rock and roll stars wouldn't have tattoos. And I don't know, I guess I was never a sailor or a biker, so I guess without Lyle's influence on world culture, I wouldn't be tattooing.
Hi, Lyle.
Here's wishing you many more happy and productive years amongst the scab vendor community.
Hi, Lyle.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Lyle.
We're all here saying hello to Mr. Tuttle. I would certainly like to say hello to him and thank him for all of his tattoo efforts in the past, and certainly the inspiration that he's given me to pursue the historical aspect of tattooing. He was a big inspiration on establishing the archive, and I wish him the very best.
I think I can pretty much sum it up the same way. He's done a lot for everybody, and myself included, but I don't know, even in spite of all he's done, I just like him, deep down like the guy. And I don't know, I get to thinking about it and what a nice guy he is, and maybe I could put the bite on him for a loan. Do you think you could hang on to this until after I get the money, Michael?
Look at you, Lyle.
Wait till you see that. What's the matter, Crow?
I'm happy to fucking see you. You know that, man. You know that.
I'm not properly attired.
You're the boss.
I know. God damn, you got a bigger fucking gut than I am.
This pile of rocks that I'm standing on there was two things on the ranch when I got it. It was this pile of rocks and a 1,200-gallon water tank down here. And the rest of it was just totally unimproved. I mean, there wasn't anything here. And that's what I wanted, because it was like my whole life I've sort of spent it, remodeling everybody else's bad taste. Well, I can put 100% of my own bad taste right here.
Hi, this is Sam, the whole crew at Everlasting Tattoo. Thanks, Lyle Tuttle, for opening up all the many doors that he has and allowing our artwork to keep moving on. So thanks, and anything to say?
Thank you very much.
You. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Lyle.
Okay.
You have a good one.
On behalf of all of us here at Ed Hardy's Tattoo City, Igor's not with us today, we would just say...
Or Dan.
Or Daniel, Mr. Higgs.
He would definitely want to say...
He would definitely want to say what we have to say to that cute little tattoo bunny, as we all know, is Lyle Tuttle. Hi, Lyle. Best wishes. Happy roast. And just, gosh, have a great day. Thanks. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, here we are over at the Diamond Club, Frisco's exclusive tattoo studio, wishing the one and only, the psychedelic hero of our tattoo time, Lyle Tuttle. We wish you a great roast and our best. Say something to Lyle there.
Hi, Lyle. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hi, Lyle.
All the best, man. Hello and congratulations.
Hey, Lyle, keep on doing it, man. Get that museum rocking and rolling. If I had a mill, I'd buy it.
I'm Ed Nolte, and this is Kenny Garcia from the Van Gogh Tattoo Studios in San Francisco's Mission District. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank and express our admiration for Lyle Tuttle and everything he's done for the tattoo community in San Francisco for the last couple hundred years. Best of luck in the future, Lyle, and thanks a lot for letting us be a part of it.
We're on? We're rolling? Yeah. Okay, we're rolling. This is Lyle Tuttle Tattoo, circa 94 edition. And on behalf of everybody, I would just like to say, well, speaking for myself, thank you, Lyle, for allowing me to fulfill some of my dreams, a lot of my nightmares, and that's about it. Good luck.
Well, I never really left Ukiah totally. I thought when I split out of here, I quit high school and split out of here, out of Mendocino County, and I was very fortunate by having the tattoo god look down on me and anoint me. But God, I couldn't even have pumped gas for Standard Oil or worked for the phone company being a high school dropout, you know. But just luckily, I just found my niche. And I guess it was like the late 60s and early 70s that caused it with the hippies and everything, you know, and the Haight-Ashbury. The thing that really put me on the map was, you know, the new people that, you know, discovered that tattoos weren't invented by the devil and practiced by ogres. They were, you know, it was just a simple practice that a lot of people had done for thousands of years. See, there's that conical-shaped hill I'm talking about all the time. The name Tuttle comes from a hill in a conical-shaped hill like that in, what is it? It's wherever the Prince of Wales comes from, up in northern Wales. It was Carnarvonshire. There's a conical-shaped hill out there, and it's called a toot hill, the Hill of God, and that's supposedly where the name Tuttle come from Toot Hill. So I got my own toot hill over here. So I don't know if it's going to be a boot hill or not, but. And then how many high school dropouts of Ukiah, California gets to own a piece of real estate on a cable car line in San Francisco? You know? I mean, I'm the most fortunate man in the world. You know, I'm a high school dropout from Ukiah, California, you know, and I've come down and got my first tattoo when I was 14 and wound up, I guess, picking out my life's career that day. My motto is basically that you take care of tattoo and it'll take care of you.
Hey, baby. Love you all.
You take care of tattooing, tattooing will take care of you. And that's exactly what tattooing is about to do for Lyle Tuttle. After more than 4 decades of, well, sliding principles and sounding cliches, the art that is as, quote, ancient as time, modern as tomorrow, is about to learn from the most famous high school dropout Ukiah, California has ever produced, the old lesson titled, What Goes Around, Around. Well, tonight it's payback time at Bimbo's for the men who brought the fine art of tattooing butterflies on derrieres to unprecedented heights during the glory years of the 60s and 70s. And we've all seen them, haven't we? Lyle Tuttle, the man, the mogul, the myth. I said that to him backstage, and he said, you're absolutely right. Actually, a lot of people, including Michael Stearns, who wrote my material, says that Lyle Tuttle is also known as the Mouth. Lyle is a soothsayer, a man with a quip for every occasion, a slogan for all seasons. From his best-known saying, tattooing is not all spotlights and blowjobs, to his lesser and oddly quaint, I've told that story so many times, I can't keep the facts straight myself. Lyle is never at a loss for words, no question about that. By the way, my name is Jerry Gordon. If you saw Frisco Skin Tattoo Inc., you might be familiar with my work, not with a needle, but with my mouth. Part of that you heard on the video that you just saw. Right now, we'd like to introduce tonight's roast master. We'll bring him out in just a few minutes, but let me explain what a roast is all about.
You're going to lead us to the colonies for the
those
museum?
of you who are not familiar with the American custom of roasts. What it is basically, it's our way of saying nasty things about someone in public as a form of praise. And oddly enough, they usually like it. Tonight's roast master is the highly esteemed and barbed-tongued tattooist from England, Painless, Jeff Baker. But don't applaud yet. We're not ready to introduce him. We have some more words to say. Mr. Baker actually is the only tattoo artist in the known world who, when he comes through customs in the United States, has to declare his tongue a concealed weapon. And his face is an inviting target. He's as famous for the fights he's lost as the battles he's started. Now, Mr. Baker will be the head chef tonight. He'll introduce each of our other distinguished roasters before taking his own turn at carving up Lyle. But before you start thinking that it's going to be all one way, remember Lyle will have the last word. He usually does anyway. And when everyone else is finished, Lyle will have the opportunity to put his spin on things. And you'll have the opportunity of believing whoever you want to. Every one of the participants will, and maybe many of you, will also be fair game for tonight's roast. So you might want to duck under the table at a moment's notice. Nobody will be left unscathed, at least if we planned it right. Let's get back to more caustic matters right now, such as our roast master, the man with the carbonic wit. The British coined the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword, but not as sharp as Jeff Baker's tongue. Mr. Baker is known for shredding his opponents in a fight with his wit, and if that doesn't work, slamming his face into the other man's fist and claiming victory. And don't say old pshaw to that. As a tattoo artist, Jeff is usually ambidextrous. He can tattoo with one hand and eat a sandwich with the other and not get mustard on the customer. As you all know, tonight's roast is historic. It's the first time this many tattoo artists have gotten together motivated by something other than greed. Tonight it's revenge. Okay, let's get on with the show. It's time to welcome the roast master, a truly trend-setting tattooist, an artist who for 20 years, before he got his first tattoo from Lyle Tuttle, in return, he tattooed Lyle, and they've been arguing ever since over who got the worst of the deal. Let's hope they don't ask us to vote by showing off their tattoos, okay? Well, I guess we're about to roll on right now. Let's roll!
There's a big panic backstage, folks. Painless Jeff has gone absent without leave. And I'm his understudy. Until we find which table he's under, you've got to put up with me. Right, is the mic all right? Can you all hear me up there? Down there, wherever you are?
No, louder.
Louder? Okay, I don't need a mic. I really don't need it. All I need is a drink, really. Anyway, at this hysterical roast, until we find Painless Jeff, I'm his understudy. I've always studied underneath him. Veronica Dankeschön is the name. Veronica. Let's have a bit more applause and I can remember what I've got to say. Veronica Dankeschön, the liberated Hausfrau, the fisherman's friend, something busted, the fisherman's friend. We use the same perfume, essence of tuna. I'm the president of the alternative APT. The Association for the Promotion of Tits. Right? I better not stray too far from this mic. This is what they call limey humour. Nobody understands it, but if you take your cue from Brian, when he laughs, you laugh, we're all right. Anyway, fortunately, Painless Jeff has left his notes somewhere. There they are over there. So I'll have to use his notes because I didn't do a lot of rehearsing, unlike Shotzi, who's been stood in front of that mic for about 3 days practicing. I bumped into Bobby Shaw yesterday. Bobby? Where is he? He's there with Eddie Funk. Hey, Eddie, I've got that other joke. I spoke to Eddie Funk today when I came in and I said, "Oh, Eddie, it's great to see you." I said, "How you getting on with the wife? Are you still servicing her?" Eddie said, "Almost every day." I said, "At your age," I said, "Eddie, how do you do it?" He said, Almost on Monday, almost on Tuesday. Look at that, Eddie. Anyway, all this is happening tonight, this the world's first historical tattoo roast, right here in Bimbo's 365 Club in San Francisco, and Chelsea Gorman's on the front row. Just imagine that, come all the way from New Jersey, but we'll get onto that later on. We've also got Screwy Louis down here somewhere. Louis, all right? He's getting through his about his 10th romance at the moment, I think. I was talking to him yesterday. They're all here, all the celebrities are here. Eddie's there, he's got his best working clothes on. His tattoos in that gear, he's got his white coat, his rubber gloves, right? No fingerprints. But anyway, because it's Tuttle, we're gonna keep it subtle. I'm not reading this, I'm just making out I'm reading it like. But Tuttle, when he first saw the Golden Gate, he burst into tears, rushed into the first tattoo parlour he saw, and had Mummy tattooed right across his arm, which was a good qualification to join the US Marine Corps. Tattooed Tuttle. They love it. But one of his TV shows was What's My Line? Tuttle hasn't worked for so long, he doesn't know what bloody line it is anyway. He thinks work is a 4-letter word. He's a legend in his own lunchtime. He doesn't care how you treat him, as long as you do at the bar later on. Soft drinks only, and if you've got a smoke of the funny stuff, fair enough. However, how are we doing over there, cameraman?
There he is, the man.
However,
Good evening.
you've seen the video, and you've read the bullshit.
Now, am I on the guest list?
We want Tuttle's head on a plate.
Yeah, well, I'm a Shriner, maybe.
Okay.
I don't
And
know.
his
So I'm
ass
just going in. I'm a
in the
Shriner. Right
oven.
there's my butt.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Oh, is he here yet?
Here's the man.
If he's not here, I'll tell you another joke. All the way from up the street on his motorised Zimmer frame to meet his subjects. Let's hear it for the old bastard himself. His Royal Highness, the Vice President of something to do with Samoa, the Honourable Lyle Tuttle.
My wife hasn't even seen this fashion statement. I said, my wife hasn't even seen this fashion statement. First time she smiled at me in months. It is a fashion statement. That's, if nothing else happens tonight, it's a fashion statement. So, GQ, go to hell. So, this probably goes on for like miles and miles and miles, I'm sure, this crowd, because I can't see anything but about the first, few tables. But I'd just like to welcome everybody here, and well, I don't know what else to say other than I guess we should probably get to proceedings. We got these real pros here that know how to entertain. So anyhow, I'd like to say, like the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming because Pat Russian and the International Tattoo is here. With everybody got a copy on the table of Mawa's face with a big dumb grin on my face, but everybody says it looks just like you, so it must be me. So anyhow, thanks for coming, and
keep it short.
Well,
we've got real celebrities coming up here.
Hey, so my date for the night will keep on going. So I'm going to have a seat and enjoy it. So thanks for showing up.
My turn again. With a proper background, Oscar Wilde said this, women can do anything. And the proof of that is in our first roaster. She's ridden horses, killed pigs, and shot rats, which is very commendable unless you're a pig or a rat. Good, I love it here, Brian. You're made. Tonight, bimbos, tomorrow, Johnny Carson. Here we come. And she also learnt that only the strong survive. She's now the top dog, the president of the APT. The alternative to my little mob. Right, Eddie? Shake 'em around if you got 'em, baby. Flash 'em. Our beautiful roaster loves pussy, cats, and making the odd buck. She's as lovely as a well-stacked wallet. Originally from Colorado, and now all the way. You're supposed to join in with this. All the way from Maryland. Please give your old gold and a big fistful of dollars to Tattoo's answer to Annie Oakley, the lovely, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Michelle Beasley. Where is she?
Come on, my dear, get up here. It's all yours,
My tits are real, and I didn't pay a dime for them. They were free.
Can I check? Can I verify that? No.
Well, you can.
Tom figured I am. See you later.
Well, Shotzi mentioned at dinner the other night
Trouble with these
that
traps.
he was half Italian from the waist down, and and I'm half Italian from the waist up. So between his big cazzo and my big bocca, we're gonna have some fun tonight. Okay?
Thank you, Michelle Beasley.
It's McKaylee Beasley.
McKelly Beasley. It's a good job the guy didn't turn the lights down. She was going to go into her striptease act, and we don't want nothing like that with children around. Our next roaster is a master. A master at making boredom an art form. In his magazine, Tattoo Advocado, or whatever, he proposed a survey to discover the reasons why people do not have tattoos. Who gives a shit? Who cares? On his next survey, he was going to ask us girls why we haven't got dongers. He's really funny when he's serious, though. All right, there, Shots, no offence, you know that. Buy me, I'll buy you a drink, you'll buy me one. No doubt later on.
Bobby, please show me that left hook all day.
Right. See Bobby Shaw. Anyway, Shotzi's doctor has informed him he'll never get piles. Perfect arseholes never do. You like that one? And Shotzi asked for a second opinion, and the guy said, and secondly, you'll be pleased to know you'll never get circumcised either. You're too much of a prick. But please excuse a nice girl like me lowering the tone in this gathering of intellectuals. All right, Mick? We are indeed privileged and honoured, so he says, to have him with us tonight all the way from Wayne, New Jersey, God's gift to tattooing. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's star prize, Mr. Carl Shotzi Gorman.
Hey, Lyle, thanks very much. And I'll tell you, I got quite erect at those nipples. And the intellectual, phenomenological kind of information. And pick up the fucking pace.
There you go, Shotzi. Back home in Indiana, back home, it's unheard of to refer to anybody in this business as a celebrity. A calamity, maybe. Celebrity, no. But about 15 years ago, our next roaster convinced a whole bunch of English tattooists with spare cash that he was a big wheeler dealer, ace, American superstar. He came over to the old country, and after relieving them of huge sums of cash for skin work, we actually wined, dined, and thanked him. Some of his victims come over here now to have a look at their money or what he's done with it. We're talking Don, Ed, Hardy. Hey! Hang on. Hold it. Hold it. Right, we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. Have you seen that big book of flashy cells? He drew that lot when he was about 4 years old. People buy it. I thought he was on the rocks myself. I bought a bloody copy. But give a big roasting growl to the man with the Midas touch. All the way from his country mansion or basher in Hawaii. Trendsetter and surfer, Don Ed Hardy. There he is.
This is so exciting, and I'm so moved after that touching video that I'm even more inspired to give you folks your money's worth. You've paid such good money to come in here, and we'll try to cut through a little bit of the fume helmets that are erected by the besotted ramblings of some of my stew-bum compatriots up here. So, have a good time.
I missed that. What did you say there, Ed? I missed that. Eddie Funk. I didn't know Eddie Funk was here. When I saw him here tonight, I thought the doorman was throwing the drunks in. I'm only kidding, Eddie. I'm only kidding, Eddie. I'm not doing a wriggly on you. Our next roaster, when he was born, the midwife threw the baby in the bin, wrapped the rest of it up, smacked the father, wrapped the rest of it up in a shawl, and said, "Hi, Eddie." But anyway, all the way from Pennsylvania, crazy Philadelphia, Eddie the Punk.
Here, I'll hold him. You can really do a number.
Oh, Eddie. I love you, baby. Take this lot.
Can I get a microphone?
Don't let him get you down. He's renting you the mic.
Motherfuckers double-crossed me. Everything Jeff said, he called me up and asked me for. What am I going to say? I gave him all these lines. Lyle Tuttle said, wear something simple. He sure did. Thanks.
Now we're getting on to the good ones.
I got more to say. I'll be back.
If it's worth having, it's worth waiting for, is the philosophy of Jack Rudy. Our next roaster. No matter when your tattoo appointment is for, Ed always has important things to do, like getting out of bed, having something to eat, seeing some bird down the street. But Jack's customers are not always happy. He's the star man for doing portraits and all that business. But his customers are not always happy. He had a young lady in for Laurel and Hardy on her thighs. Jack done the job in a couple of hours. The lady was sat there, slightly embarrassed, stripped off from the bottom down, like halfway down. He was quite surprised when he'd done the job that she said she didn't think the portraits looked like this photograph that she brought in. Jack was well pissed off. He went out onto the street and pulled a guy in and said, look at them two beautiful tattoos there. Jack never exaggerates. Don't you think that one there looks like Stan Laurel, and the other one on her other thigh looks like Oliver Hardy? And the guy got down there and he had a good look at this and a good look at that. And he said, I don't know about those two, Jack, he said. But that one in the middle certainly looks like you. all the way from Good Time Charlie's place in LA, with the D round the right way, Mr. Jack. Won't be a minute, Rudy. Have a shave, Jack.
Well, all I can say, it's really great to see that Veronica's not drinking anymore lately. Of course, she's not drinking any less either, so that's it for now.
We're right down to our last roaster. Our last roaster is a fellow limey, exiled north of the border in Scotland. It's where we used to send him in the old days. He's known for writing gossip for various tattoo magazines. Does a great job. His idols they're both on the shit list now, but one was Eddie Funk, and the other was Eddie Funk's buddy, Huck Spaulding. He's in love. He's in love with the National Tattoo Club, and he's madly in love with tonight's honoree, Lyle Tuttle. Just before he came over here this time, Terry Wrigley went down the optician's to get a pair of glasses. He was told to cover his left eye with his right hand. But being confused, he never knows which is his left, which is his right. He's tried the middle of the road and he kept getting knocked over. He's like this. So the optician, to save a lot of palaver, went out, got a cardboard box, cut a hole in one side, put it over Terry's head and said, "How's that?" All he got in response was a whimper. So he took the box off and he said, "What's the matter, Terry?" And Terry said, "Wanted a pair like Lyle's got." Anyway, a lot of people say that Terry doesn't need glasses. He needs a guide dog. But he's here now. He's with us tonight, complete with his new specs, like Lyle's. Friend of the rich and famous, all the way from Glasgow, Scotland, Mr. Terry Wrigley.
You know, there's more bullshit here tonight than a Mexican fucking bullfight. A lot of people call this idiot over here an alcoholic. A Mexican bullfight. They call this pisshead here an alcoholic, but he isn't. Alcoholics go to meetings. He's a fucking drunk. He goes to bars. And you know something? Have you noticed? My name's Wrigley. I'm the fucking last. Hey, W, the last of the... If your name is W, change it. You're always the last of the fucking line. Hey? In the army, when you got the shots, the needle was blunt. Hey? When I was a kid and they gave out peckers, we got the front of the line, they'd all gone, the big ones. But before we start to insult Lyle, I'd like to say something. That I come from Scotland, and in Scotland we have something called a laird, and he's like the lord of the manor. Like they have in England, and people raise a cap, and they bow to him, and he gets the first chance of the virgins and all this. And I thought, well, fucking hell, we're going to go in tonight and do something to Lyle Tuttle. And why don't we make the kind of Scotsman, eh? So I rode away, and I got a title deed here for some land in Scotland that makes Lyle Tuttle a Scotsman. And it makes him the Laird of Camser in Scotland. And I hope he fucking appreciates it because, well, he's now a jock.
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. Church.
What do I say?
Well, I think it's right here.
Hey! Hang on. Hold it. Hold it. Right, we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. We're not finished yet.